Welcome to a new episode of Truth Bombs and Bloopers with Christina and Priska. And today we want to talk about the end of the year, of this glorious year of 2020, and how you can make it even more glorious or give it like a big kaboom to end.
Yes. Maybe you remember what you thought on the very first day of this year, how this year will feel like and evolve and how it's really turned out. Do you remember what you thought on the first day?
I actually, on the 31st of December 2019, I remember so very well how I said to my husband now, back then my fiance, like, you know, honey, I really want to go more out. I want to do more outside stuff, you know, going to restaurants and having dinner outside and stuff like that. And he's like, yes, let's do it. And then 2020.
Yes, exactly. A little different going out, going in.
Yeah, it was not a going out. It was like universe was like, no, my dearest, that's the way to look this year. And that's what we did. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you?
Yeah, I think it was even you who told me, oh, let's celebrate the golden 20s. and I thought, wow, yeah, it's I felt this sparkling energy, and when I thought back 1920, you know, oh, it must have some resemblance.
Yes.
And actually there was a pandemic also in
really?
Yes,
in the 20s.
Yes. Yeah, it was the Spanish flu.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know if it was exactly 1920 or 21, but it was in the 20s.
Yeah.
But the golden 20s really started to be more inside than outside, and some golden inside nuggets that I think everyone had to learn.
Yes.
Even if not desired. Mm-hmm. We were all forced to find the gold inside.
Yeah. Christina, what are you going to do to, you know, close off 2020, move into a new year? Is there something that you're going to do, you and your family?
Yes, I have a ritual that I try to do every year. And one first step is that I try to declutter my home before. We often go to the mountains for New Year's, and so that when I come home, that it's like this fresh energy. Wow. And I really look at the objects. Does it really spark joy in me, or is it broken? And the energy just feels more like stuck energy to me. A great book about that is Marie Kondo's, you know, The Magic of Tidying Up and things like that, where you really try to only minimalize it to what lights you up. And then on the day itself, on, like, I don't know, sometimes I do it I like to do it actually already on the new day of the year. Yeah. Sometimes it's the 1st of January or the 2nd, because my daughter's birthday is on the 1st. Focus is there. And then I often do it on the 2nd when I can already feel the energy. I try to feel into the energy of the new year and find a word that I will come back to throughout the year, that I want to bring into the year. Just one or two words. And then I do a list of everything that I have achieved and that I'm grateful for the year. Another list, everything I want to let go of that I don't longer need, and then what I want to invite to the new year, and then do a little meditation.
Yeah, can you tell that I love that, how you do that with the meditation?
Well, I first write down everything I want to attract in that year, magnetize, and then I like to take a bath, mm-hmm. and use some maybe Epsom salt and some lavender to relax, and then really I don't know, with water, there's just so my element. I feel like inspiration just flow through me whenever I'm in the shower or in a bath or in a spa. I feel there, yeah, I can really let go in the water. And then I just I see myself already in those situations that I want to attract while I'm being cleansed. And
nice. I love it. You're really bathing in the new energies.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
I love that.
And you?
Well, I also do not everything. I love to declutter in general, but I've never decluttered around Christmas time or New Year's or whatever. But I like that idea because it's really about this crispy, clean, new energy. What I always do, or always since I think 6-7 years, something like that, I'd always make a little video, at the end of the year, like a look back for every year. And this process of making this little video always is kind of, like it's like going through the whole year and looking at, what was amazing, wow, this we did too, and
cool.
I love it. And of course sometimes you cannot find a picture, but still you just remember it because you go through the year. And so this I always do. And I also so sweet, you like Christina said before, you have to mention that you have this on YouTube.
You can go to Priska's YouTube channel and you find all the yearly sum ups, and it's so inspiring. I love it.
Thank you. Yeah, it's always I always love doing it, even though I hate it because I hate that my computer constantly, kind of hangs because there's so much data and I always have way too much stuff on my computer. But the thing on itself, like just doing the process, it's so great. And I also often do, especially since I live here in the Netherlands, I do a recap in photos, like a photo book that it's mostly the gift that I give to my parents, that they can also see a bit what's happening here, or what has been happening here. And yes, and I also do what you do with choosing a word. And it's so funny, we talked about it before. I have zero clue what the word was for 2020. I mostly at least remember, but I think I was so thrown off by everything that happened. I totally did not think about it.
Yeah.
But you really have an intention or a quality to live by. For example, abundance. It was once. You really see the abundance everywhere. Or taking my place. That was also once my, more than one word, but this energy of taking my place, having good boundaries, all these things that I had in the past. So that's what we do. And as a family, we did also once vision boards. That was so much fun. Yeah, with all we have these old magazines, and then we just did all that. Like Boss and I actually were more excited than the kids were. We're actually the only ones who finished it, but it hung there for even 2 years. And like we really looked at it all the time, and it was so fun to see the things then.
And that's a really nice ritual as a family, that like everyone is cutting out and do one as a family, and maybe when you want to do one for yourself, and you are constantly reminded through the images.
Yes. And it's more also about the process of doing it, because for example, I'm a non-specific manifester, so for me the details don't matter so much. It's more about just trusting that the best will happen. But still, the doing, it's just pleasurable. I love doing it.
And I think it's in the end, it's being in the emotion, in the feeling of it.
Exactly. That's all that matters.
The field that you're creating.
Yep. Exactly that.
Yeah.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how I mostly do it. I don't know how I'm going to, because this year I really want to just go with the flow, because I'm really as tired as I cannot recall having been that tired. I also feel physically not so well at the moment. And I feel like, okay, I'm just really like a child, look, like in a week it's a holiday and I can barely make it through this week, on the knees through the mud. That's how I'm feeling right now.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It's like 4 more days and then we really have a long holiday.
I think it's collective. Everyone is tired.
Yes, I see that too.
And everyone is happy for the fresh, even if it's just a number on the calendar, and there are other calendars who don't start on the 1st of January.
True.
But still there is a fresh book you
chapter.
can open.
Yeah, that's so true. And like when I look back at this 2020, this year, what just strikes me is really how like it's like we have been living in different realities. Like, of course, everybody is living in their mini universe, you know, anyhow. But I really felt like there are people who were so massively struck by the pandemic and had to, like, you know, rearrange their whole lives, their whole existences that crumbled down, or, you know, like it was so crazy how many people were really so deeply impacted, and then the others, like for example more me, not so much has changed actually, you know. It's like more of like, it was just for me personally, and I know this is tragically to say, of course we lost the person to COVID or whatever it was, my mother-in-law at the very beginning. But what actually what went deeper with me was the whole Black Lives Matters movement that came up with George Floyd. And this is really where I got personally touched even deeper, or affected in a deeper way, even if it's crazy to say, because I mean, like, the pandemic was everywhere, and this was it's also everywhere. But it was just when I look back, this actually shaped me more than the pandemic itself.
Yes. Yeah. And I think power was a big issue, how power is used and how power can divide the world through pandemic, the different views on it, and how all the governments had to use their power and find a solution. But then also to see the elections in the US, what power, I think in the last 4 years, power wasn't really connected with wisdom, and what that did to the world, and how this unfolded. And our own power, you know, a lot of people felt totally powerless. And the only way out was the way in, and find new power within. And I think that's why, from that perspective, it was the most abundant year, because everything that we felt was normal, our normal, our power, our gold, suddenly fell away, and we had to find it inside. And still there's a big mass, I would say, that is still seeing it as a punishment or a loss or that. But I think a lot of people woke up.
Like it happened, like it was crazy what it did with so many people, also with friendships, and, you know, people who are living in total different realities. And I also am aware, from where I'm standing, I'm in such a privileged position, you know, like my business is still there, and I know that many online businesses even got better results in 2020 than they did ever before, because so many people had to switch to online. And I mean, also, like, there was not a moment where I was really scared about my existence, you know. And of course, if you are really working, for example, if you were owning a restaurant, or I don't know, if you're having this own business, for example, like a beauty salon or whatever, and this is really like, this is so harsh if like your whole world is just coming down. And I mean, like in Switzerland and the Netherlands, we still have, you know, like these nets, in sense of you don't fall, you probably hopefully don't have to be hungry, you will still get some money somewhere. But in other countries, you just don't have any of these nets, and you just how to feed your family. And I think this is what also struck me so massively, to see how many people are just like standing in front of ruin, you know, like, and have to face it, and where's the solution, you know. So I see all of it. I see like when I look back, I have to think there's so much gold and so much shit that just, it was always there, it just came to the surface in some way, you know. Also the same like racism. It's not that racism all of a sudden happened in 2020, no, it's just, it got much more visible. And maybe also because of COVID, we had more time to actually look at it and actually ask ourselves, what does it mean to be a racist? What is white privilege? What does that mean in our everyday lives? And so on and so on. How do we have these conversations? So for me, it's like when I look back, it was so both. It was like, and it's logical actually, duality, right? We're living on a planet that is in a dual, it's a dual experience. You need the shadow to experience the light. So it's just both for me.
And
I,
yeah, sorry. And also, I think that's exactly what COVID is trying to teach, that we can let this reality fall away and not just focus on the duality, the good, the bad, the gold, the shit, the light and the shadow, but really what's beyond that. There is another reality that just is connected to everyone, and everyone belongs to that. And
yeah, that's true. So like, yeah, it's like the end for me, because it's there and this always has been there, this, this place that you just described, where duality does not exist, and we're still human in a human body, which is
of course
much dual. So it's sometimes hard to, like, I understand it's sometimes hard to live with one foot in this world and with one foot in that world. And I also want to be compassionate with all the people who still feel like, oh, it's so hard and I'm scared, or whatever is going on.
And it's part, I think it's part of that journey called life, that we're always evolving, and then we maybe feel it for a moment, it's almost like a little enlightenment, and then we fall back into our dual mind, our fears and our negative thinking. But I think it's really like training a muscle. The more you realize that this is just that this isn't the true reality, that this is like a little mind on its own, and you become the observer, and every time you hear that mind chatter, you can say, okay, I have enough now. And
yes, I hear that. And I'm just going to be honest, I also think that we can do that because we are in this position that we don't have to struggle with life, or like how to survive as a family or how to feed our kids. I think it's so much harder to trust in this, because it's like it's like layers, right? Like when you feel safe, you have like the space to, and I am aware you can also co-create that safety, this safety to feel safe within yourself, because there are people who live in great houses, have a lot of money, and still feel super unsafe and all the time. Yes. Of course, this is a different work, but there are really people who are struggling now with literally how to feed their family, and then it's so much harder to still trust in that reality, because it's so not matching in that moment.
Well, I think it's really, even my observation is more, the less you have, the more you go there.
That's also true. Yeah.
So many people who had great teachers, who had everything, and who were losing everything and on the streets. That's when they found their true nature, their true being. And
that's true.
Only through this very, very hard experience, or people who suffer from a natural catastrophe, who come together and they lost everything, and family members, and through that they had to find a light again inside. So it really, there's no rule. I think it really is when it's time for the individual to go one layer deeper. Then
that's true. I mean like where did I find the most light? It was in my deepest, like after the deepest night of the soul, when I really felt like I don't even know what I'm doing here anymore. And it's always there in the shadow where we find the light. That's actually also true.
Yeah,
that's also
and I
true.
think we all have our dark night of the soul through different experiences. Some people experience dark night of the soul through, I don't know, through an illness, through through an accident, through
Loss,
losing a loved one, through a very hard relationship. For everyone it's different.
That's so true. Yes, and I really think that this whole COVID really has been an accelerator for everything.
Yes.
And I also see where I feel very much drawn to is like healing the division, because what I see now so much happening is, the pro-vax people against the anti-vax, or like the pro-Trump against the Biden people, and the other way around, or like the conspiracy theorist versus the one who believe in, it's like so much like this. And I feel like, dude, in the end, we're in this together, and I think in the end we all want the same thing. And this is where I feel like, and this is why I'm also feeling so tired. We talked about it before we hit the recording button, how incredibly tired so many people are, because this is not just something that goes by, so easily. This has challenged everyone in so many ways to, ask yourselves, where am I standing? What's my opinion? What do I actually really believe? And what am I actually really standing for? And it just has been such a challenging year for everyone to really choose a side or finding their voice within all of this, because not having an opinion is almost impossible in all of this.
Yeah. And maybe that's just helping us to, maybe before every change there is big chaos. True. And every change is uncomfortable in the beginning, or even hurts at the beginning, and then gets messy before it turns out to be a change. And I see this division and these different uses of power as kind of like the mess in between. Things are
very true.
Shaking up and need to come up to the surface before we can reorder them again.
100%. Yeah, like we all have to live in a certain unknown. And this is, of course, where all the fears come up, when we feel, what's going to happen with the money system? What's going to happen with my job? What's going to happen with our future? Can we keep the house? Can we, like in every level, in the small, like, can we get married, or can we move to this country, or can we visit family, to the big things, like, really, can we keep our existence, like what's going to happen? And we all don't know. And I think this is also something that is, for the first time, so evident and clear, that we're all in this together, because like through the media, we, like, also through globalization, this virus is not just in one place, and it's just everywhere, and we see it also because of the media. So it's so uniting also to see, hey, we're in this together, no matter which side we think we're on, or believe we think we're on, we're in this together.
And it really reminds us that we are not dependent on our future. We are already who we are, and I don't need the future to be me. So I don't need that achievement, or that position, or that money in the future, because actually I am already me.
Hallelujah.
Right now. Yeah.
Such a big lesson.
I know.
A big lesson.
Yeah. And I'm very happy to have been connecting also through our podcast, through these conversations with you. There is just this connection every 2 weeks that we honor through these conversations. And I want to thank you for that, and for everyone who is listening, and for everyone who is part of that. And we hope that they inspire you and continue to inspire. And for the new year, we have already planned some guests, right? Yes,
some amazing guests. And just want to say thank you so much, Christina. And it's totally the same. I really appreciate, like, we had this idea for so long, like this, having this thing together, really years. And then we always got kind of hooked up, because we wanted to have a nice, intro where we spend time together, that we are being filmed, or
we wanted to go to an island, to Ibiza or somewhere, and have really amazing footage.
Backdrop.
Yes, and then we started during COVID with Zoom and just with our home, and it's totally okay. Just
so
start
good
before you're ready.
Yes, this is how we started. I don't even know when we started. I think in April or something we did. So thank you so very much to you too, for everything, for being part of this, for actually also like cutting everything and doing these beautiful intros and outros. You're doing so much for this, and I'm just so grateful that you exist, because I don't know, life without you would be my friend somewhere out there. Yeah, exactly. We would be lost. Yeah. Okay, we're going to stop that now, otherwise it's going to be ridiculous.
Exactly. Thank you for all the listeners and watchers, and we wish you a very smooth transition. So I try again to say I wish you a very smooth transition into the new year. And just when I said smooth before, the whole computer died. No battery. And I was hoping that the video was recorded, and we were lucky.
We got it. Yeah. Yes. And I was so funny because I just heard, from my perspective, you said, I wish you a smooth transition. And then you were like this. I thought like, oh, that's a long I, to say. And I was like, oh, is she frozen? And then you were gone. And then I had this massive laugh attack because it's like the smooth transition was not that smooth.
Not that smooth. Well, we hope that this is not a preview of the next year. But at least we laughed a lot.
Oh, we laughed so much. Yeah, like we wish you just all the best for you and for your families, and we hope to see you again in the next year in 2021.
Yes, see you. Thank you, and bye.
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 Ich sag mal Raube.
Ja, du kannst
Welcome to a new episode. Perfect, darling, perfect. Let's start with truth bombs and bloopers, a new episode. And we're talking about the end of the year and its rituals.
Of this golden year 2020.
The golden year of 2020, where everything fell apart and together. Okay, bullshit to get aside. Okay. Oh God, Christina,
you can do it.
I can do it, but now I have to speak like that, darling, dearest, my little cabbage.
I'm utterly honored to spend the time with you.
Oh, blimey! The honor is all mine.
I've got some tea with you.
The tea? It's not tea time right now.
It's always tea time.
Excuse me, blimey! I run out of milk. So let's start this little chat, won't we?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a little chatterbox, you.
Oh my God! Oh,
we're just turning this into a little British comedy, right?
Yes, it looks like it, darling. It looks like a limerick from the Buckingham Palace or something.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Welcome back. I cannot say welcome back.
Why not?
Of course. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Welcome back to another episode. And I'm in this.
Das Licht ist irgendwie.
Das Licht ist gut. I think we just have one blooper today. It's just the blooper. Oh, okay. Let's do it. Okay. Welcome to a new. I'm so sorry for cutting this. Okay. Welcome to a new episode of Truth Bombs and Bloopers with Christina and Priska. Today we were
Really.
Oh my God, no, it's one of those days.
You can continue there. The beginning was good, and I can cut that out.
Okay, I will just say once more. Maybe I can do it in one.
Okay.